So there I was using Facebook, and I've got a good example of what's currently going on in internet and web design. Okay? Manipulation is the name of their game in web design. Now, there's no honesty, decency, or anything. Facebook, I don't use Facebook much, but I logged into it, and it's telling I wanted to see my messages. It's impossible for me to go and see my messages unless I put in, it's forcing me to put in what they call a PIN, or personal identification number. It's forcing me to choose one or set one up before I can actually see my messages. It says, set up a PIN so that you don't lose your messages. Now, I don't care what their justification is. The point is, the messages I have on that system should be accessible to me at any time, presumably. And this habit now of web design morons, these scummy little people who hide in corners with their little manipulative keyboard behavior to force the user of websites to jump through hoops for them, it's got to stop. These little maggot people who are in a position whereby they can actually force ordinary people to jump through hoops for them, it's got to stop. This is the problem with the internet. I'm not averse to technology per se. You know, the word technophobe or whatever no, not at all. Technology's fine. Well, the problem we have is that little disgraceful, weak scumbags are in positions where they shouldn't be and doing things that they shouldn't be. So I was forced to put in a number. I just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because I don't care about this stupid security nonsense all over the place. I'm not interested in it. So I put in the first numbers that came to mind just to get rid of this thing, and then it's showing me the first. In order to force me to do that, right? I was shown one message outstanding on the little logo, on the little symbol for messages, right? I go into my message thing, and the supposed message, which is the one that's highlighted as outstanding, is a message I sent to someone about a year ago. So it's a lie. It's a pure manipulation to force you to click on this thing, thinking, oh, I've got a message. It's not even the case that the message was that thing saying you have to insert a PIN number. It was actually showing an old message of mine that I sent to someone else that hasn't even been replied to as the message. So it was a lie. So these scumbags, as all web designers now are scumbags, right, sat there and said, how can we manipulate the user to do something using our website? This poisonous, disgusting, scummy, slimy behaviour has to be stopped. This is the problem with the internet. You can't hold anyone accountable. In the whole history of mankind, you have always been able to hold someone accountable, so they behaved in accordance with that. Because they knew if they stepped out of line, they'd be held accountable. Oh, no. The internet has now enabled any scumbag to sit behind the anonymity of a computer and act upon other people and go, yes, I've got power now, yes! Like a little fiend. So every time you use the internet, you have to navigate a sea of people trying to manipulate you. That's all they're ever trying to do. Now there's no honour in it anymore. It used to be, even, until recently, that you'd use the internet and there was a sense of honour and decency. People weren't just 100,000% trying to manipulate you. Now, every single thing you touch, there's just manipulation. How can we make the user do this? How can we force them to do this? How can we trick them into doing this? It's changed the world from a place where you could actually function and get stuff done into this rat-infested swamp of diseased, filthy, disgusting, putrid rats. And that's what the internet has changed the world into. It's enabled the scummiest, weakest, most spineless, disgusting people to have their way with ordinary people who do have backbone, who do stand up for things. You can't get to these people to tell them, what the hell do you think you're doing? This is the problem with the world nowadays. And the scummiest, weakest, most spineless people, the people who have been working in, not just the ordinary weak morons, but the people who have actually got nefarious intent, are now full bore using every means they can to achieve disgusting aims. The whole ethos of humanity, of society at the moment, is in the most rotten, reprehensible condition it has ever been in the history of man. It is disgusting, and we have to fix it. It has to be fixed. This is not optional. All it is a situation where people are saying, oh, I don't want to touch that, I don't want to get involved. Well, in any situation where that's the case, eventually you have to get involved, and the sooner the better. This has to be fixed unilaterally all over the place. Yes, there's always bad stuff in the world, so be it. People have the option to do bad things. But the point is, without acting so as to try to keep things in good order, everything will go rotten. Facebook, in my opinion, has to be broken in order to fix it. Because the way it's, and it's not just Facebook, but that's a good example. Facebook has to be broken apart and taken away from private management or ownership, in my opinion. That all these websites which have gotten out of hand, out of control, and which are completely a menace to the world, have to be ripped out of the control of these private people. That they have to be, for the sake of everyone. Yes, you might say, oh, well, that takes away... No. In order to fix this problem, we have to have some authority, some leadership, and some management. People are still free to use the internet in whatever manner they wish. But there must be a threshold whereby such a big and massively widespread... something... the user base of which is so massively widespread cannot sit in the hands of these disgusting individuals. It must be open to people, and not falsely open, but properly open, completely open. Now maybe the solution is to create a completely open alternative to Facebook. I don't know, but something has to happen. Because these people will continue doing what they're doing until something gets in the way. And the only thing that will get in the way is them being forced not to do it. Because they're sitting there in their meeting rooms going, why shouldn't we do this? And not one person in the meeting room is coming up and saying, well, actually, it's wrong. That person would be fired. So the truth is that in any business situation, the bottom line is, why shouldn't we do it? And there's no, apart from morality, there's no reason. So they just continue doing it. And they might snigger, they might go, ha ha ha, look at the power we've got, ha ha. But all they're doing is ruining the condition of the internet. And this is why in any situation, in any human environment, you need some authority. That authority has to come from a male with backbone. He doesn't have to be a bully, but he does have to have strength of character. And everyone else is chilled then. That's how these things work. And if you have someone who's strong, but their character is bad, then the only solution to that is to have someone who's strong, whose character is good. So this is what we're faced with. It's what we've always been faced with. Now, this you might say, oh, it's a silly example. It's not a silly example. This is everywhere. Even in some sort of government institutional website, it's going to creep in. Because some poisonous little web developer who comes from the private sector is going to say, well, the way we do it is we manipulate people to do this. And the person setting up the government website will be like, okay, let's do that. And then the poison continues. It's everywhere. It's disgusting. The world is a mess. And you might say, oh, well, everyone's always complained about that. No, it doesn't matter. We have to be conscious and aware of this. It's a problem. Oh, web design's nothing. It's a big deal because nowadays people are forced to do everything through the internet. So there has to be some sort of regulation. There has to be some sort of control. There is no control over the internet at all. In my opinion, you must have 2 internets minimum. One that is a proper, decent internet, in the same way as television is disgraceful now, and media. In the past, you had television was controlled by censorship authorities, by the nation that you were in. You know, that's how television was. Now, media is a free-for-all, and it's so dangerous and damaging, especially to kids. It's poisoning our society. And yes, some people are intending to use it for that purpose. We need control. We need control, and not someone going, yes, now they're begging us for the control. No, decent control. Honest, open, proper control. The rest of the internet can be as just disgusting as whatever. It doesn't matter. But there needs to be something which is decent. And with this globalist poison being vomited all over the world, it's impossible to control anything, which is why it's so important to have control of our countries, our nations. We have to fight back against globalism with everything we've got until globalism is just some nebulous thing that may as well never have existed. We need our nations because that's how we have control. And the only way we can have our nations is if we have strong men organising them. This feminist stuff it's been used to create this problem. Women have been used and manipulated against the nations that they are a part of so as to destroy any male dominance of the nation. But males must dominate the nation because they are the people with whom the buck stops. They are responsible. It's that simple. Being a man means being responsible. That's the truth. Never mind this feminist garbage. I love women. I have a desire to take care of them, provide for them, blah, 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 blah. That's ordinary and normal. That's what a man is supposed to do. But the poisonous conditioning of feminism is men are the enemy, men are evil, you can't trust men, blah, 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 blah. You could do that about anything. You could demonize dogs if you wanted to. You could demonize cheese. You could demonize anything. You could demonize oxygen. They've demonized carbon dioxide, for heaven's sakes. It's nonsense. And it's all done through the media. Because we at the moment don't know who's in charge, because frankly, no one's in charge. All we have is nefarious people messing around with the systems that we used to have control over. It's a mess. It's a disaster, and it needs to be fixed. And it's just going to get worse if we don't fix it. I will 100% do my part. Other people have to do their parts. And then we can start to push back against this poison that's been slowly added to our society. It's disgusting. Anyway, manipulation in web design. It's sick. It's sick. It's even creeping into other businesses. The way that the society is at the moment is disgusting. And I don't want to be saying that. I want to be saying, you know what, I'm proud of our society, and I'm going to make that happen. If no one else does, I will do it.